Hi Sai, Uchinanchu58 here, and I've got something amazing to show you. You may recognize this as Tango Tech's Iron Phoenix, and you may also know that it was broken when the Aquatic update came out, all through the pre-releases for that matter. Anyways, I fixed it. I'm going to go through what exactly caused it to break and my fixes for it. You may have a different fix if you've been working on it yourself, and feel free to make your own tutorial video. But anyways, let's start with the reasons it's broken. First of all, the water mechanics have changed. Villagers will swim to the top very rapidly, and then undead mobs, zombies, skeletons, and whatnot will sink to the bottom in the new Aquatic update. Now, this water tube relies on the villager going around at a certain speed. It's about 1 minute and 25 seconds in the 1.8, 1.9, etc. up to 1.12.2 version that Tango Tech made. When this villager swims up the water tube in the Aquatic update, he gets up here in about 15 seconds, and it causes some problems with villages overlapping because they're detected too quickly. Anyways, I fixed that, and additionally, if we go over here, I have a villager sitting up on a platform, and I'm going to show you what happens with the new village detection mechanics. So here, this villager is on this block here, and in 1.12.2 and earlier, the village detection box was a 32 by 32 box in here, centered on the northwest corner of the block that the villager's standing on. And that's a problem. If you think about it, this is not a symmetrical box. So if we count in the positive direction, there's only 15 blocks beyond the villager. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So positive 15, and then positive 15 this way as well in the south direction. That's positive Z. And then if we count in the negative directions, negative X and negative Z, you'll find that there's 16 blocks in those directions. So, as I said before, asymmetrical. I think that their intention all along was to make a detection radius that was 16 units from the villager in all directions. So what did they have to do? They had to add another block to the positive sides, like this. That's where that emerald block is. So now the box is 33 by 33, so it's a little bigger. Additionally, they changed it in the vertical direction too. So it used to be that the bottom of your door could be here, or here, or here. If the villager was standing here and the bottom of the door was here, then he would detect that as a village door. Now it's changed. They added a block to the top, so now the village door can be up here. This is the added portion. So if the bottom of the door is here, it will be detected by that villager now. That causes, that's another thing that caused this iron farm to break. So Tango Tech made this with some incredibly tight tolerances, but there's still enough wiggle room for us to fix it. So here's the tutorial telling you all about it. Let's start with all the problems that I noticed, and I'll briefly cover all the problems that I saw with the farm, and I'll individually cover how I fixed them, and then at the end I'll show you a few tutorials on some minor changes I made, and how to fix the water tube and keep the villager from going up too quickly. So let's start from the east side over here. North is that way. On the east side, as I said before, the villager detection radius is 1 block higher. So before, this set of blocks here, including the one the villager is standing on all the way up to here, were at this level. They were 1 block higher. So what I did was I moved everything from here down 1 block, including the sticky piston and the block that the villager is standing on. I added these pieces of glass here, and then I used a regular block here so I could step the redstone down 1 block. So that solves that issue. Now when the villager is sitting here, he's not detecting those right away. He has to be moved up to detect them, just as it was originally intended. Second of all, the villagers in the boats. This guy is actually okay because there are no doors above him. Well, initially he's sitting on the top. Once the process starts, he drops down to the bottom and then gets launched up to the top for the first set of villages on the top level. But when he's up there on the top, there are no doors up here for him to detect above his head, so no worries for him. Anyways, the one over near the water tube, right here, these doors were actually on top of the slabs. And then these white, or I should say iron blocks were actually on top of the doors. What I did was I switched them around so that the doors here are one block higher than they were. So when this villager gets dropped down initially and then gets shot up here, he doesn't detect those doors right away. He's not supposed to detect these doors at all in the first place because that's what the villager going around the water loop does. So this guy should not detect those, and raising them by one block only fixes that. Finally, I guess the math, rounding and stuff changed a tiny bit. So going up to the very top door, if the water loop villager comes over here and detects this door, and then he drops down here and detects these doors, and there's already a village created in the center spawning golems, well, these doors will actually connect down there. The distance was like 32 point something from there to here, and then it was 32 point something from there to here, and it just so happened that these would always join there instead of joining up there. So anyways, all I did was I lowered this block here by one. So this iron block used to be here, now it's here, and then the door that used to be here is now here. So that should eliminate that problem. These always join up just fine now. Alright, what else did I change? Down here, the little villager farm, the reason there's 2 slots for villagers is because we have max entity cramming, and if you put more than 25 villagers, 25 mobs in a single space, they'll start dying. So that's why we have 2 banks of 21 each. That was from the original Tango Tech farm, but he had his oriented differently. One of his banks of villagers was right here, I believe, or at least in line with these redstone blocks that I have laid out here, and that was causing these villagers over here to detect these doors right here in the corner. I think the first 1 or 2 doors here, and then one of the doors over here. Reason being is because now with the new mechanics, those villagers were less than 16 blocks away from that corner and 16 blocks away from that corner horizontally. So I laid out 16 blocks across. There's 8 there, and then 16 here, and then 8 and 16. So counting from that door 16 over and that door 16 over leaves us with a single space right here of 1 block wide where our villagers can actually go. So what I did was I turned the horizontally oriented villager holding cell to from the positive and negative X direction, and I made it positive and negative Z direction. So now they're going north to south instead of east to west, and they fit directly in between these 16 unit distances from those doors. So they're 17 away from that one and 17 away from that one, so they don't detect it by accident and cause problems. They still are within a 32 block range of the center of the villages that get created in the iron spawning area. Sorry, the iron golem spawning area, which the 32 blocks comes like right here, so that they're still within that range, and they keep all the doors, I'm sorry, they keep the villages from despawning. So that's what I had to do there, and what I did was I went 16 over this way and then 16 that way, and then I put 1 holding cell 15 units from there and 1 13 units from there. If I understand this correctly, though, you can put the villagers anywhere along this line here. So you can actually put them possibly inside here to make this whole iron farm a little more compact. I haven't tested it out, though, but I believe that putting them right here, as long as it's more than 16 from there and more than 16 from there, should be okay. So give it a try if you'd like. I'll try it out and make an addendum to this video if I need to. Alright, final things. The water loop. This was a pain. So the original water loop actually went up right here. The water was on this block. I had to, unfortunately, move it 2 blocks over. And there was a reason for that. When the villager came down here, he would move over this way, and I stopped him for a good amount of time. I think it was about 40 seconds or so right here to compensate for the increased speed that he goes up the tube. But when I stopped in here, he would go back up right about here, and then these doors would get detected because the 3 right here were 16 units away from the water tube. Tango Tech originally designed it so that he was 15 units away from them, or sorry, 16 units away from them, but he can only detect 15 units in that direction. So now that he can detect 16 units in this direction, these get detected as he goes up the water tube, and then they get joined with one of the already finished villages that's in the Iron Golem spawning area, and it totally messes up the farm. So after the first village is created, when he goes to create the second one, it was broken from there. So I had no other choice, unfortunately, but to move this tube 2 units over. I did think about letting him run down here, going over and up right away, and then stopping him at the top, but that caused an additional problem because this door up here is also less than 16 units away. So really the only choice I had was to move the entire tube to the right 2 units. It's a really big pain in survival mode, I know, but it was necessary, so that's what I had to do. Okay, additionally I put another what is this called? A hopper, another hopper timer system to stop the villager here. So he comes over here, hits this tripwire, and it will move redstone dust from this hopper to the other hopper. Once this hopper is empty, it opens the gate and he swims right up. And then it refills the main hopper again as he's going around the loop. So I'll teach you how to build that. And I believe that was it. All those fixes combined meant that the farm was working properly again. So anyways, I'll go into a little more detail on making this stopper system over here. Alright, now that you have moved your water tube 2 units to the left over here so that it's in this location instead of where it was previously in this location, you can start building your trap and timer system for the villager to adjust the timing of this loop. Alright, first of all, we're going to move over here, and I'll show you the items that you're going to need. You're going to need 81 redstone dust, 3 torches, 1 piece of string with 2 tripwire hooks, oak fence gate, well, any fence gate for that matter, 7 blocks of your choosing. I'm using iron for consistency with the rest of the iron farm here. 2 hoppers, 1 repeater, 1 comparator, and then I'm using glass as a temporary block. So anyways, let's get started. Let's go to the oak fence gate. We're going to put that in first, so break this block here and break this sign and place the fence gate in this unit so that this water here doesn't fall down like that. And you can see that the fence gate opens and closes like that. Next we're going to break this glass here and replace it with a block like that. Then break the glass above it, and we're going to put a repeater on top of that. And we can get our comparator queued up there. Okay, next let's see here. We're going to put a block here and then break the glass, and then do the same thing right on the other side, like that and like that. That's where our tripwire hooks and our string will go. So let's do that. There we go. That's complete. Alright, next. 1 torch goes there. So when the tripwire hook is activated, that torch goes out. Then we're going to move down this way. We're going to put a temporary block here, and then 1 block there. You can break the temporary block now, and we're going to put some redstone dust on top. And then next we're going to put one block there, like that, and another block next to it. And another redstone torch goes there. That should turn off. That's correct. Okay, then our comparator goes right there. Okay, then we're going to come to this side, use our temp block there, and then put our main block there. Oops, let's put it on top of there, and then break that temp block. So it should look like that now. Put one redstone torch here. The fence gate should open now. And then on to the hoppers. So we're going to put a temp block down here, run a hopper into it like that, break the temp block, and then run the other hopper into the first hopper. And then your 80 redstone dust will go into this hopper here. So let's place those in. Then the fence gate should close. So that's it. Once the villager hits the fence, all 80 of those redstone dust items will transfer to this hopper here. Once this one is empty, this will deactivate, activating that torch, activating the repeater and opening the fence gate, and then it'll close pretty quickly, but the villager will already be moving up the tubes, so he'll be good. So actually, let's give it a test. The first thing that I'm going to do though is get, I want to take 64 out so that it goes more quickly. And I got the villager ready right here, so let's open this gate and see what happens. Alright, here we go. Alright, looks like it's working. Fence gate is closed, these are off. Things are transferring, and there it goes. And then you'll see the, now the items are moving back into this hopper. And that is all for that one. Alright, next I'm going to show you how to build the little stopping system that keeps the villager from floating up and down here before he finally settles to the bottom and goes through the tube here. That'll, again, save you some time so he's not sitting there wasting time before he moves on. We're going to use the materials you see here. Got one redstone dust, one torch, one string with 2 tripwire hooks, a fence gate, 4 blocks of your choosing, and then the glass is just a temporary block. So let's get started. First of all, we're going to put the fence gate in. So we're going to break this block here. There's 2 levels where the villager is going to go, and then the fence gate goes above his head, so we're going to put the fence gate right there. Next, we're going to break the block next to the fence gate and put our own block there. Break the block above that. Then over here we could put a temporary block and then put one above and one below that. And then break those out. Break this one out as well, and then this one. Alright, another temporary block, so we could put a block there. That's for our tripwire hook. So it should look like this now. Fence gate above the villager's head with 1, 2, 3, and then one over there. We're going to put the tripwire hooks on here. And then put the string across. Oh, that didn't work very well. Let's try that again. Okay. Well, the game's not cooperating with me. Let's try that. There it goes. Okay, so I got that now. And this is even simpler. So we're just going to put one redstone dust there, and then one torch there. And there it is. Once the villager comes in here and touches that string, the gate will close. Like that. And then when he leaves the string, it opens it up again. And I'm just going to fix this back. There we go. Make sure there's no holes where the villager can escape once you do this. And put that block there. That way, once he falls down, he keeps his head down. Alright, you can see he's over there. And I'll wait a little bit. Once he comes back around the tube, I'll show you once he's able to test it. Alright, here comes our villager. Let's see if it works. He should hit the bottom and just move on and be about his business instead of floating there for a while. Look at that. Okay, yeah, it worked perfectly. Alright, that's that. One final thing, I noticed that this villager here, after you start the cycle and he drops down to the bottom, once the loop villager over here completes the first loop and comes through this tripwire hook, he gets launched up. Well, there's a problem with these fence gates. Watch. Oh, look at that. He took some suffocation damage from the top one there. I don't think he took any from the bottom one, but these things close too quickly, so I haven't found a fix for that yet. I haven't really tried it, but it might be as simple as just putting a small delay with a repeater with 4 ticks or something like that on it. anyways, I'll work on that and make a second addendum with that. So I'm going to get the video out first so you guys can get all the good information, and then I'll work on that later. Well, that concludes this video. I'm going to leave a download link in the description so that you can get the exact world you see behind me here with all the fixes for the Aquatic update version of Tango Tech's Iron Phoenix. And please leave me any constructive criticism or any questions in the comments, and I'll try to get back with you. Thanks so much. Goodbye.